If World War III breaks out, where would you go? Missiles could fly across continents in minutes. Major cities could become battlegrounds. No place is completely safe, but some are safer than others. In this video, we'll explore the best places on Earth to seek refuge if a global war erupts, and why you should avoid certain regions at all costs. So buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the geopolitics of survival. First up, let's talk about where you want to be. Eastern Europe. We're talking about countries like Ukraine, Poland, Romania, the Baltics, basically anywhere near Russia's western border. Strategically speaking, they're caught in a geopolitical pressure cooker. NATO expansion versus Russian aggression, historical grievances, territorial disputes. It's a recipe for disaster. And let's not forget, this region has seen more than its fair share of conflict in the past century. Now, you might be thinking, what about those underground bunkers? Sure, they might offer some protection from conventional attacks, but in a full-blown nuclear exchange, your best bet is to be as far away from the action as humanly possible. So, unless you've got a really good reason to be in Eastern Europe, I'd suggest booking a one-way ticket out of there. Next, we're moving slightly northwest to the Baltic Sea region. This area might seem small on a map, but trust me, it's a massive powder keg just waiting for a spark. We're talking about countries like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all bordering Russia, and with a history that's complicated. The Baltic Sea is Russia's only direct access to the North Atlantic, making it a crucial waterway. On the other side, you've got NATO, which sees the Baltics as a critical line of defense against Russian expansion. As long as cooler heads prevail, this might just be a tense standoff. But in a worst-case scenario, the Baltics could become a flashpoint for a much wider conflict. And if things escalate to nuclear weapons, well, let's just say you don't want to be anywhere near ground zero. So if you're planning a Baltic cruise, you might want to reconsider. Now let's shift our attention to Asia, a continent brimming with economic powerhouses but also simmering with geopolitical fault lines. Specifically, we're looking at three major hotspots: the Taiwan Strait, the Korean Peninsula, and the South China Sea. Taiwan lives under the constant shadow of China, which claims it as its own territory. If conflict erupts here, it could easily draw in the United States, Japan, and other major players. Next, we have the Korean Peninsula, a region frozen in a decades-long standoff. North Korea, with its nuclear ambitions and unpredictable leadership, remains a wild card. Finally, the South China Sea, crisscrossed by competing territorial claims, is a constant source of tension. China's assertive actions have raised tensions with its neighbors and the United States. Simply put, be extremely cautious about traveling to these areas. The situation is fluid and volatile, and the last thing you want is to be caught in the crossfire. Let's talk about some places that might actually be safe havens if the world goes to hell in a handbasket. Topping our list is none other than New Zealand. First off, it's remote. Tucked away in the South Pacific, thousands of miles from any major conflict zones. In a global war, geographic isolation is your best friend. New Zealand has a long history of neutrality, staying out of major military alliances. They're not picking sides, which makes them a less likely target. Plus, New Zealand is surprisingly self-sufficient, with abundant farmland and fresh water. Even if global supply chains collapse, they're in a good position to feed themselves. So if you're looking for a place to ride out the apocalypse in relative peace, New Zealand should be at the top of your list. Just make sure you pack your hiking boots and a tolerance for sheep. If New Zealand is too mainstream, let's go even further off the grid to Tuvalu and Fiji. Tucked away in the Pacific Ocean, these islands are about as far from geopolitical hotspots as you can get. They're not strategically important, and their obscurity becomes their greatest asset in a global conflict. Missiles are expensive, and invading tiny islands offers little strategic advantage. Life here isn't luxurious, with challenges like rising sea levels and tropical cyclones, but if you're looking for a place to disappear from the world, Tuvalu and Fiji might just be your paradise lost. Sometimes being forgotten is the best defense. Let's journey to the North Atlantic, to Iceland, a land of fire, ice, and surprising safety. Iceland benefits from a strategic location, far from major continental landmasses. It's like having a moat around your castle, but instead of water, it's a whole lot of ocean. Iceland has a long-standing policy of neutrality, with no standing army and a focus on peace. Its natural resources, like geothermal energy and abundant fishing grounds, provide self-sufficiency. If you're looking for a safe haven with breathtaking scenery and a peaceful atmosphere, Iceland might be the perfect hideaway. Just remember to pack a warm coat, those winters are no joke, and maybe brush up on your love for hot dogs. Let's head south to Chile, a country with dramatic landscapes and surprising stability. Its geography is its greatest asset, sandwiched between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. The Andes act as a natural defense, making a traditional ground invasion incredibly difficult. On the other side, the Pacific provides a giant watery buffer zone. Chile has a long history of political stability and non-interventionism. They focus on their own development and tend to stay out of global conflicts. If you're looking for a safe haven with stunning natural beauty and a stable political system, Chile might be the perfect escape. Plus, they have enough avocados to keep you satisfied for a lifetime. Who doesn't love guacamole? Now let's venture to Greenland, the world's largest island and a surprisingly safe haven. Located in the Arctic Circle, it's geographically isolated from most conflict zones. With a population of just over 56,000, it's the definition of social distancing. Greenland's icy environment offers a unique advantage: preservation. The cold temperatures act like a giant freezer, preserving food and resources. Life here is harsh and requires self-sufficiency, but the isolation could be worth it. If you're looking to escape the chaos of civilization, Greenland might be the perfect reset button. Plus, you get the northern lights as a bonus. Just be ready for the cold. And maybe invest in a good pair of snow boots. Switzerland is famous for its neutrality, chocolate and cheese. But here's the catch. It's smack dab in the middle of Europe, surrounded by powerful countries. In a major conflict, Switzerland's neutrality might not count for much. That said, Switzerland has defensible terrain, with the Alps providing natural barriers. They also have a well-equipped militia and a population trained in self-defense. While not the absolute safest haven, it's still relatively secure. Just don't expect to sit out a global conflict sipping hot cocoa in the Alps. Switzerland is a gamble, but it's a calculated one. And hey, at least the chocolate is good. Finally, let's journey to Bhutan, a tiny kingdom nestled in the Himalayas. Known for its stunning beauty and gross national happiness, Bhutan offers isolation and self-sufficiency. Surrounded by towering mountains, it's not an easy place to invade. Bhutan has maintained its cultural and political independence for centuries. They're not reliant on global trade or entangled in alliances, making them less vulnerable. The terrain is rugged, and life there is far from luxurious. But if you're seeking a place to disconnect from the modern world, Bhutan might be the ultimate sanctuary. It's peaceful, remote, and deeply connected to nature. Just be ready for the altitude, and maybe learn to appreciate simplicity. Let's hope it never comes to this, but if it does, knowing where to go could save your life. The safest places share key traits: neutrality, remoteness, and self-sufficiency. Be prepared, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more survival tips. Until next time, take care.